Hello everyone, I'm Mami at the NEWTips Piano series. Today I want to talk about how to play with feeling, expressivity and passion. What does it mean to play with emotion? Is it to do with looking up the ceiling and moving your body beautifully and artistically? Or is it to do with feeling emotional while playing? We talk about someone being musical or unmusical, and as children, being musical is somehow equated with being talented. We are told as a kid to play with feeling and emotion, and musicality is somehow thought as a mysterious quality some people possess and some others don't. I was not musical as a kid, I can tell you. At the age of 16, I came to the UK and I auditioned for various different teachers. I remember playing Chopin's G minor ballad and J. Anderson, who was to become my teacher and who has since instilled in me the love of music. She kept saying years later how her mouth fell wide open on hearing me play the ballad on the day because there was no musicality in it. Another teacher said my playing sounded as unmusical and as unfeeling as overcooked spaghetti or tofu. For a Japanese person, tofu is actually a very beautiful and expressive thing, but never mind. I wanted to play with feeling and felt a lot of emotion inside, but it was not coming through in my playing because I didn't know how to do it. And playing with expressivity is a skill we can all learn. I'm going to show you 2 simple ways to be musical today. I also have another very short video named Secret to Musicality, in which I discuss how you can transform even a simple chromatic scale into something meaningful and exciting. So I hope you will watch that as well. And if you do what I discussed today and also in that Secret to Musicality video, I promise you can never sound unmusical. On this channel, I want to share with you some useful information and tips that I've learned over the years from some of the top teachers in the world. So please consider subscribing to my channel. I want to share 2 tips today to kickstart the musicality and passion in your playing starting right now. And the first tip is listen to the modulating tone on the piano. When you play any note on the piano, you can hear its modulating sound. It goes and that's what I mean by the modulating sound. Some years ago, I made a CD with a wonderful recording engineer called Richard Scott. He was a virtuoso engineer and I miss him so much. He cared not only about the quality of sound but also about the quality of silences, and to me that is a mark of great sound engineer. In one of the pieces that I recorded with him, Tchaikovsky's Old Ruins of a Chateau, the first piece of Souvenir de Hapsal, and I said to him, I want to hear a dark, moist air before the first note. And without complaining, he would add that in for me into that recording. Between the notes and silences are where the magic happens. Going back to the idea of modulating tone, if you're playing ballad number 1, it starts with a long sound. And how you play the second note matters greatly. You can play it like this. That's without listening to between the notes. Or listen to the modulating sound and play the second note accordingly. To me, the difference between an artist and a tofu pianist is whether you listen to what happens between the notes or not. There is one cliché that every piano teacher tells his or her students, and that is once you have struck the key on the piano, you cannot change the tone and it simply decays and dies. Yes, that is true, but just because you cannot influence the sound once you have struck the key, don't abandon the sound but keep listening to the end of the sound until its last dying breath. For instance, if you're playing Beethoven's Pathetic Sonata, keep listening to the sound. It should match what's left of the first chord. Take this example from Debussy's Prelude. The beginning is like the sound of muted horns. An array of moonlight. In this section, there's a crescendo written from the bass note to this chord, which is impossible. But if you play it often enough, you begin to hear a swell in between the chords, almost like an orchestral effect, like a whole forest weeping. Or you can just plonk your fingers and hear only the beginning of the sound, like I hope that sounds different. Same goes for silences. Silences can mean many different things. The quality of the silence, the moments before execution, or the silence you receive after your friends don't get your joke. They are completely of different quality, and the silences can be so eloquent and expressive as the sound itself. Another tip I want to give is, if you're not sure what to do with the dynamics, how to shape a melody, the simplest thing you can do is when the melody goes up, play louder, and when it goes down, play softer. I don't mean always do this, but if you don't know what to do and if there are no indications on the printed score, then follow the shape of the melody as though making a drawing with a pencil. This is Beethoven's Sonata Opus 27 No. 1. The first figure goes down, so you do go down as well. So you play softer, but the next shape is going up, so it swells upwards. A mini crescendo, etc., and follow the shape of the line. In the third line, the melody is going up in the first half, so you do crescendo, and in the second half, it goes down. It almost feels naive, but you just simply say up and down. This way of playing is quite different from kind of imposing your own emotion onto the music. We started off by saying how to play with feeling, how to add emotion, but I think to add emotion is the wrong way around. It is more of how do we convey the emotion that is in the music. It is listening and finding out what the music has to say. I'm reminded of a time when my professor at the RCM, Bernard Roberts, gave me a Beethoven sonata to learn. It was the C major sonata opus 2 No. 3, and after a week of practicing it, I came back to the lesson and said, I don't like the piece. And what he told me in response to this has stayed with me ever since. He said, your personal likes or dislikes do not matter. They are irrelevant. When you play a great piece of music, you experience the music, and at the end of it, after the experience, you come out a different person. I never forget that. Today's topic was how to play with feeling, how to be expressive on the piano. I suggested 2 simple ways to sound musical immediately. One is to listen to what happens between the notes, listening to the modulating sound of the piano, and to match the next sound you play, as well as infusing the silences with meaning. Between the notes is where the magic happens. And also we have talked about the simplest way of shaping a melody. If it goes up, do crescendo. If it goes down, do diminuendo. Say up and down, this and that. As I said at the beginning, I was not a musical person, but we can all learn to be musical, and if we stick to it and keep on learning, we can become a different musician and different person. In the next video, I will talk about how to do crescendo on a single note. I said earlier it is impossible to do on the piano to influence the note after having struck the key, but it's not entirely true using the pedal and a little trick, so I hope you will watch the next video as well. If you have found this video interesting or helpful, please share it with your friends on social media. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel so that you will know when my new video is uploaded. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!